This is one of the most mysterious cases in American history, a case that, even today, remains unsolved. Yes, we're talking about the only hijacking incident in U.S. history that has never been cracked. So what exactly happened? And why couldn't even the FBI solve it? It was November 24th, 1971. A flight was on its way from Oregon to Washington. Onboard Flight 305 was a middle-aged man who would later become known as D.B. Cooper. He wore a black suit, a tie, and dark sunglasses. During the flight, he quietly handed a note to a flight attendant. The note read, "I have a bomb in my briefcase." Remember, back then, airport security was extremely weak. No scanners, no strict body checks. In fact, hijackings to Cuba for political asylum were somewhat common. To prove his threat was real, Cooper opened his briefcase just enough to show wires, batteries, and a glowing red light inside. The frightened attendant rushed to inform the crew. Negotiations began, and Cooper calmly laid out his demands. 1. He wanted $200,000 in cash. 2. He wanted 4 parachutes. 3. And once the plane was refueled, it had to take off again, heading toward Mexico. The captain immediately contacted air traffic control, who brought the FBI into the loop. Given the gravity of the situation, the demand was accepted. The money was gathered from local banks, serial numbers carefully recorded to trace it later. While the crew was under immense pressure, the passengers had no clue. They were calmly sleeping, unaware of the hijacking unfolding around them. The plane landed, the passengers were safely released, and Cooper got what he asked for: $200,000 in cash and 4 parachutes. Then, with only the crew on board, the plane took off again. But Cooper had more instructions. The aircraft had to fly at just 10,000 feet. The speed had to be reduced to 200 knots. Why? Because that was the perfect setup for a parachute jump. Into the freezing winds, into the dark forests, he vanished. The FBI launched one of the most expensive investigations in history. They studied weather conditions, flight paths, and radar data to estimate where he might have landed. Ground searches were carried out with local police. But nothing. It was as if Cooper had disappeared into thin air. They even tested the tie he left behind and cigarette butts found in the plane. No useful evidence. Over the years, more than 800 suspects were investigated. Raids were conducted. Interrogations went on for decades. But after nearly 45 years, the FBI finally closed the case, without answers. Yes, even one of the most powerful intelligence agencies in the world had to admit defeat. And the mystery remains. Did D.B. Cooper survive that jump? Where did the money go? And who was he really? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.